More me. All me.
The fans pay to see me.
Okay. You look pretty, baby. Okay, so we went and saw The Wizard, Oz the Great and Terrible. I don't even know what it was called.
Oz.
Yeah, we went and saw the Wizard movie. And I really wanted to love it. I really, really did. It was pretty. It was so pretty. Like the opening sequence I wanted to touch on because it gave me such high hopes when we went into the movie because it was like this sort of like daguerreotype etching 3D kaleidoscopic diorama that you're kind of like traveling through with like the different actors' names popping up on sticks and like guys riding by on unicycles, and it was so cute. When the movie started, it was so dumb. It was so dumb.
It was. Yeah, visually it was pretty. Mm-hmm. The 3D in it was nothing short of fantastic. Well done on that.
Like again, like super enamored of their own 3D though. I got the feeling that they wanted us to be like, this is what we can do with 3D now. You know, it's really come of age, but they were doing it the same old way that they always do, which is just throwing stuff at the screen. And every single time it took you completely out of the movie. Like, he was doing his magic trick at the very beginning, like, bim, salabim, and like flicked this cloth out. It was like that close to the camera. And I was like, alright, you know, maybe they're trying to make it more exciting for like the black and whitey part before we get into like, you know, the epic scenic panoramas, but they just kept doing it throughout the movie. They're like throwing spears at the camera, or like he threw his top hat at the camera at one point, and like at one point it was like snowing for no reason, and it's just like, hey, it's snow.
It looked pretty.
He threw a dove at the camera and actually like it flew outside of the frame.
That's going to be a problem with 3D from now on and forever.
I think that once they get used to it, they can start using it more subtly. You know, I guess that was kind of in keeping with the feel of this movie. It was very much a spectacle. The one thing is reminding me of, other than Army of Darkness, but I'll get to that later, is when like IMAX first became a thing, they put out a lot of those movies where it's basically just like soaring through landscapes, just to like, this is what IMAX can do. It was basically that with the inkling of a plot.
Here's what I had the problem with. Mm-hmm. The entire thing. So we got... Alright. The beginning of the movie, it first started with like this little... what it called, Road to the Emerald City or something like that, where they talked about how Walt Disney really wanted to buy the rights of, you know, The Wizard of Oz, buy the rights of the books, but he couldn't do it until Cinderella blew the fuck up. Mm-hmm. And then he did. Yeah,
we got this like as a special sort of before the movie behind the scenesy thing, because it was like the AMC Stubbs special preview sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it was less a behind the scenes and more a hooray for Disney, and now back to your movie.
Right?
But the thing is I read a lot of the books when I was little, and I was thinking about it earlier because, you know, I don't remember like too much of it because, again, I was pretty little, but I was completely enamored of them. And like Wicked is one of my favorite books of all time, and so I was, you know, I went into this with really high hopes, and I'm wondering if I was so disappointed because I had such high hopes or because this was such a bare bones movie, and I think it's the latter, you know, because it ultimately didn't really have much. It was basically Army of Darkness. It was, you know, a guy gets put in this situation and has to Army of Darkness, Connecticut Yankee, and King Arthur's Court, where you just like, you know, Bug's Life. Just pick any of those movies with the exact same plot, and that's what they made. Whereas, you know, this shyster, and everyone thinks he's more than he is, so he has to become more than he is, over and over and over again. I was saying too that it seemed like the the plot of this movie, that the basic moral was, bitches be tripping because men are bastards. Because, well, like in the previews, they don't really, they make a point not to show you who the Wicked Witch is. And I think we're going to end up spoiling it.
It turns out it's Jackie.
Turns out it's Mila Kunis. But they do it in kind of a horrible, horrible way because, like, the Wicked Witch is such an interesting character, but in this it's basically, I done been spurned, make me ugly and I will destroy everything.
Yeah. The major issue I had with the movie was the pacing. Mm-hmm. Because it didn't make any, the story arc of it didn't make any sense. The movie in a nutshell is the charlatan Scrubs is there.
Zach Braff.
Being whiny Scrubs. Those two are doing a show. One of them's a charlatan, the other one's Scrubs. Saying, please love me. Fucking character that Zach Braff can do. Mm-hmm. The only character that Zach Braff can do. And then,
He has varying degrees of mopiness versus...
No, it's pretty much the same. The only other thing I know that he could do is the honeybee. From the Honey Nut Cheerios. Anywho.
I didn't realize he was the honeybee.
He was.
Oh,
wait, no. The honeybee is...
That's the guy who does the voice
That's Billy West.
Yeah.
No, he's the water purifier guy.
He's the water purifier guy. He's also that dog that loves toilet paper so much.
Yeah! The Cottonelle.
That dog loves toilet paper.
He sure does.
But
okay, so we got I'll get back to you. Okay. We got that's how the movie started, and then the tornado. He was in a hot air balloon. All right. I mean, I bought the first Wizard of Oz when Dorothy was in the house because she was in a fucking house, right? Just spinning through the vortex, but she's still in a house. This dude is in a hot air balloon.
Well, that was actually in keeping with one of the few things in the movie that was in keeping with the books, was he did get there in a hot air balloon.
Okay, but it still makes no goddamn sense. I get the house. A hot air balloon inside of a tornado, I don't think would fare as well.
Well, see, he prayed to God.
Oh, is that what he did? He prayed to...
He was shooting this tornado and they were throwing, fence posts at us, and then they were throwing fence posts at him, and so he just starts, screaming at the air, no, please don't kill me, I want to do great things, and then he was okay.
Oh, no, then it went to the slow motion thing so we could really appreciate the 3D. And then there was that,
It was a Calliope.
Thank you. Yeah, that crashed into him, and so now we're at Oz, and we meet Mila, and
so pretty. Oh my God, so pretty.
Oh, I would do things to her.
I think anyone with a brain would do things to her, but
I would do things to her brain.
She looks
and my penis.
Well, she looks gorgeous, and they've got her in liquid latex pants for some reason, which I'm sorry.
I know the reason. So I can masturbate at the child's movie.
The woman's gorgeous, but she did not have the butt for those pants. I'm sorry, but it's true. But anyway, so she shows up, and you were complaining about this outside, so let's just take this part because they had the fancy pants.
Oh yeah. So Oz is the name of the wizard. What was his name?
He had this huge big complicated said, but my friends call me Oz.
Yeah, one of those things. So Oz is now in the land of Oz. And then he meets Mila. She's like, are you the wizard we've been looking for? Yeah! Why the fuck not? I sure am. I love you. Well, here is a music box that my grandma gave me.
He's been using this music box shtick.
It's like his pickup line.
He's got dozens and dozens of
millions of these
stashed on his person.
That's when it would be handy to be a magician, I suppose. Just whoa, magic box. So he gives her that, and then they dance,
and then they kiss,
and then the next scene, they're walking down the yellow brick road, and Mila's saying once you take care of the evil witch, you'll gain the throne, and I'll serve as your queen. And the guy's like, I didn't agree to all this, which I can relate. Now, in his devil's advocate, in his defense,
They did like just meet, and he's obviously got a problem with commitment, especially after like half an hour, because they're like,
that wasn't even a half an hour. This entire segment took 5 fucking minutes. Like, they meet, they dance, they kiss, they go to the Emerald City.
honking the horn.
Oh. They go to the Emerald City. He leaves the Emerald City to go kill the evil witch, Glinda, which is obviously not the evil witch. She sees this. She hates his guts. The reason for her hatred and her anger is supposed to be a lover's scorn, and the relationship has been 15 minutes old now.
Bitches be tripping because men are bastards.
I think bitches just be tripping, period. Like, I don't think that has anything to do with him being a bastard. She was crazy. Bitch be crazy. I mean,
yeah.
it made no sense whatsoever.
Well, again, you mentioned the pacing and stuff like that. I think the movie put in less to carry the plot and more to carry us from scenic vista to scenic vista. Like, they got like the long walk to the Emerald City where they're showing us pretty stuff, and he's got the long walk to the random graveyard that Glinda was kind of skulking around, and it was just, scenic vista, scenic vista. It was this movie could have been done in half an hour. Easily could have been done in half an hour. It's just that they wanted to show us all the pretty things, and I appreciated them because the pretty things were pretty much the one good thing about this movie.
They were pretty.
But I mean, they tried doing the thing from the Judy Garland Wizard of Oz, where like during the black and whitey bit, they had little people that end up showing up in one iteration or another within the Land of Oz. Like Zach Braff is like his little assistant, and then when he shows up in Oz, he gets this like monkey assistant who swears him a life debt. And it's Zach Braff, which that was the creepiest monkey I think I've ever seen in my life. It had like this flat, hairy baby's face with like big sort of golem eyes.
That was adorable.
I couldn't look directly at it.
That was the only thing I was able to look directly at. I am enamored by you, little monkey.
So yeah.
I did not have the same hopes that you had coming into this. I was just more like, okay, let's go see Oz. Like, I had no emotional investment in it, so I walked out of it like, saw a movie. Yeah, it was pretty. It was, on the whole, it's a bad movie, but it's nothing that I personally can get upset at.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. It's just not as good as I was hoping. And I mean, if you're gonna see it, do see it in theaters, because the 3D is pretty amazing. And all the shit they're throwing at you is gonna be pointless if you watch it on TV. It's just, don't go in expecting it to move you, because the couple scenes where you do start to get invested, it ruins it like 5 seconds later. Like the little porcelain girl, when he's gluing his legs back together, that was starting to get me. I was starting to get into it, but then he made that stupid face that he made throughout the.
Oh,
that one.
I'm your wizard.
This is how I react to the senseless tragedy I've come across here in Chinatown.
Ow!
It's a town into China. It's Chinatown.
Fuck puns. Why can't I not? I just want to. I want to watch one movie, just one, that is zero pun. They don't exist.
Well, Oz does have a big history of pun. Like I was explaining to you in the car on the way over there.
Maybe like the horse of a different color.
Yeah, they had horses of a different color, and in the books when the Scarecrow got his brains, it had like bran in it because they're brand new brains.
Lazy writing is what that is.
I think that we should complain about what they did to Mila's face.
Old pumpkin face.
Good old pumpkin face. She was so pretty, and then she ended up like she got all sad and crazy because she got spurned by some dude she met yesterday. And so her sister, who was Rachel Weisz, whoever I had figured was going to be the Wicked Witch, but apparently not, was like, if you eat this apple, it'll all go away. So she eats it, and turns into, keep wanting to call her Elphaba, turns into like the quintessential green Wicked Witch, but they did so by like molding her prosthetics here and then giving her like this weird pointy claw coming off of her nose and then a weird pointy chin, shaved off her eyebrows, and then drew really surprised looking ones on top. And then wrapped it all in a headscarf, so it was just this perfectly round, perfectly green face with Mila Kunis's eyes sticking out of him. But then they left the cleavage, because God forbid.
Well, I want to see some green titties while I'm here.
We saw some green titties, baby. Was it all, I hope it was all you hoped for and more.
Not enough.
So that was terrible.
She did look like a pumpkin.
I do wish they'd cast someone else. That guy's name's on the escapes. James Franco. Yeah. Because, I mean, like, he did the, like, cha-cha, prestidigitation parts, right? But, like, when it came to actually reacting like a normal person to stuff, he went back to the face. So, you know, parts that should have bummed me out didn't, because, again, he looks stoned out of his mind and thinks it's hilarious.
I would too in his situation.
I did like the little porcelain girl. I mean, her as a character annoyed the piss out of me, but she was really, really prettily. I'm gonna keep going on about how pretty this movie is, because yeah, the vistas are pretty, and they made like this little porcelain girl, like the one survivor of Chinatown, and like her legs got snapped off, so he glues them back on there for her, and then she's like, "Take me with you," and he's like, "No," and she pitches a little porcelain fit, and he's like, "All right," and then she turns into one of the most obnoxious characters in the movie. We got Smurfs 2. Didn't we get Smurfs 2? Moral number 2, I guess, is women should never get their way. Because the power goes straight to their head.
It does. This is why you guys can't make that much more money than us in the workforce.
Why we can't have nice things.
It isn't. You're going to squander them.
Mad with power instantly.
I mean, we gave you an iron. Enjoy that power of ironing clothes. Namely mine.
Are you done?
Why are my clothes ironed?
Okay, so Michelle Williams was also in this movie. Speaking of useless females.
I need to do my ironing. Go on.
No, she did have that impressive wizard battle at the end with Rachel Weisz.
Was it really impressive? Was it really?
Maybe I was just tired, but like they both kind of flew up into the air like True Blood style, and then like flew at each other, and like they had like stuff shoot. Like Rachel Weisz had like the green lightning, and Michelle Williams had a stick, and they were kind of just like fending each other off.
So you brought a stick too and a green lightning bolt fight.
Stick ended up winning though. Sorry, spoiler alert: the good guys win. And then it just kind of ends, you know, I mean, like, going into it, at the very beginning, you know, Michelle Williams shows up as, like, this girl that he kind of pals around with, like, I guess they're in a relationship, sort of, but they don't really have an understanding. Like, she shows up and she's like, "I want to tell you something, John Gale proposed to me," which I guess is supposed to mean that, like, she's gonna be Dorothy's mom. So,
I just realized that.
So he's like, "Oh yeah, no, that's fantastic," and she's like, "Okay, but like, should I marry him? I mean, like, should I marry him?" He's like, "Yeah, go ahead." So he's, you know, you go into this thinking, well, you know, maybe he'll have like sort of an epiphany of, you know, there's more to life than just being a wizard in a carnival. But then remember, oh right, this movie has to end with him staying in Oz and being a wizard forever. So he's not gonna learn a damn thing, and so he didn't. I mean, he ended up making out with other Michelle Williams, Good Witch Michelle Williams, at the end, which that just kind of came out of nowhere. I think it was just, it's just a good guy and a lady, so we are together now.
We gotta end this somehow, and I guess we're not doing a dance number, so send it with a kiss.
Oh, they did do a dance number.
Of course they did a dance number, but it was mercifully short.
It was. They kind of made a joke of, "Okay, you gotta stop dancing."
It's like, okay, all right, stop dancing.
And they did have a couple accuracies. I mean, they did call her subjects the Quadlings, and they had the Winkies, which used to put them giggling for like 30 minutes. What else? Let's That's about it. They didn't really follow much of any sort of canon, other than, having Glinda be the Good Witch of the South. And so it's like they got the Cliff's Notes and then just built pretty set pieces around them. But, like, if you want to see something pretty, go see it. If you really like seeing Ted Raimi show up as random cameos, go see it. They had Bruce Campbell as well as guy being beaten about the head and shoulders with what was like a baton stick.
This is a beaten stick. Is what
Yeah,
it
he
was.
was like face prosthetic to the nines, and like, you can't get in here, and so they just wailed on him until
Hey, you can come in.
And yeah, Ted Raimi, I guess, was the skeptic in the crowd. Is like, there's a wire, I can see it, and a paycheck.
Well done.
But if you actually like the books, even if you like the movie, probably don't go see it. It'll make you sad.
Yeah, if you're going into this movie thinking that they're going to capture anything even remotely similar to what the original Wizard of Oz captured way back when,
Yeah, not so much.
they don't even come close. I mean, the only aspect of it that I can make an argument for was, the transition from black and white to color. In the original Wizard of Oz made people wet themselves.
Uh-huh.
And I could see where Disney was going with it, to take that a step further by doing the 3D and the digital whatnot, which is our technology of today. And yes, they made it visually stunning. So pretty. 3D. Yeah, they had shit thrown at the screen, but they've been doing that since the 70s. It's not going to stop. I mean,
Maybe someday it'll
it's
stop.
not. That's what people want. When somebody says, we're going to go see this movie in 3D, the first thing that people say is, yeah.
Throw spears at the face?
Do they throw spears to a cloud of smoke and it comes right at me? Yes, they do. Because it's 3D. I mean, it's what the masses want. They want shit.
You know what would have been cool is if the black and white part had been in 2D, and they had segued into the 3D when it went color.
That would have been.
They didn't do that.
No, they
They
didn't.
were throwing stuff at you.
It was
from
3D, the whole thing. I didn't read any of the books. I don't plan to, because reading's for squares. But, looking at this movie in the sense that, I'm only going to look at it as a movie, not what it grabbed from the source material, just because I don't know anything about the source material, other than the original Wizard of Oz. Of course, I've seen that, but, I've never read the books. I never read Wicked. I've never read Wicked 2 and 3, whatever the hell those are
No
called.
bother. Son of a Witch and, like, Cowardly Lion.
Yeah, those. Oh, wait, no, I did try to read Wicked, and I got about 10 pages in.
But you gotta keep going.
Before the book that I was reading had so many yellow highlighter marks on it, because it was using words I've never seen before.
Uh-huh.
So I had to get a dictionary.
Oh, my book, actually, I wrote the definitions of those words in the margins.
The second I have to do that to read a book, I have to have 2 books open to read one book.
It's 2 books
Done!
already!
Done! Burn them all. I'm getting behind the Christians. Burn all the books. Burn them. Useless.
Okay. Did you see Return to Oz, though? That was pretty good.
No.
I think Jillian owns it. I'll see if she'll
I
lend
saw
it to you.
the Ghetto Black, or the Ghetto.
Oh,
Wizard
The
of Oz.
Wiz?
Oh, The Wiz. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I didn't see that one, but I heard
I
it was
saw
good.
The Wiz. That was amazing.
They were supposed to make a mini-series based on the Wicked book. Like, they said they were going to make it last year, and it just never happened. I still got my fingers crossed, because that would be fantastic. Although I could just be getting my hopes up again.
Yeah, no, you should probably stop doing that.
It only brings disappointment.
It does. So as a movie, the pacing, it didn't make any sense. The plot, charlatan shows up at at the Land of Oz, has to save them, so he does. Mm-hmm. La la la. That's
The
it.
end. And like even at the end, he was still so unlikable. Because you know, you usually
I think that was the problem with it. Like,
when they use that trope, you at least they're charming and you end up liking them at the end. But I couldn't stand him all the way through.
Yeah, I really could not get behind Franco. I couldn't get behind. Like, if I ever go back to watch the first Wizard of Oz, or if I watch it on TV or whatever case may be, at the end when they show the wizard and his thing, I'd be like, that dude's just a dick. I saw you when you were young. You're a prick.
Well, apparently you got the hots for Glinda, who hasn't aged a whit, and you're an old man. So that's problematic.
Yeah.
I'm just, like, probably from a fancy lady's point of view, Rachel Weisz and Mila Kunis are two of my favorite pretty ladies. And Mila Kunis, they did that horrible pumpkin thing to her face, and Rachel Weisz, they, like, covered her head in feathers for some reason. It looked really peculiar. She was still gorgeous. It was just really pretty, and that's about it. I'm trying to remember what previews we got. We got Smurfs 2. Didn't we get Smurfs 2?
Yeah.
I hadn't actually... Had you seen that preview yet?
No.
It's got, like, flesh-colored emo Smurfs in it, so that was a little new. And the Smurfs were playing around on a laptop, so that was kooky. It looks pretty fun. You looking forward to
It
it?
looks like the same fucking movie.
They got, like, creepy little faces, don't they? I'm just saying, I'm not gonna go see it.
The fuck you're not. You still owe me.
Don't want it, not gonna. Damn it, I do. I would have nothing to contribute to that movie.
I have nothing to contribute to
I'm not
this movie.
angry enough for those reviews.
I'm not angry enough for this review, and yet here I am, like, saw a movie. Did it suck? Yeah. Didn't make me mad. It's just a dumb movie. Mm-hmm. The previous Smurfs 2, on the other hand, made me kind of upset.
There you go. You can get mad about that.
The gray Smurfs.
Were they supposed to? Because it basically looked like they had... You know, in the Michael Keaton Batman, when the Joker's got, like, flesh-colored makeup over his regular makeup, that's what those little Smurfs looked like. It was creepy as shit. What other previews did we get?
I don't know. I'm only stuck on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Final thoughts?
I really don't want to see the Smurfs 2.
Good enough.
Like, I really don't want to go see that. Like, I'm willing to give Brad money so I don't have to see that movie.
I'm trying to think of, like, some way you could get out of it, and I'm coming up with nothing. My final thought is there actually was, thinking about it, a point where the movie moved me, and that was when you first realized that Mila Kunis was going to turn out to be the Wicked Witch, and it was because she realized that she had been spurned, and she started crying, and it was, like, melting her face.
It gave her,
and she was like, oh, God,
Gave her, like, tear-strayed scars, like, right here, which was kind of cool.
It was really cool, and she's looking in the mirror and, like, this self-loathing kind of flickering across her face, and she goes, serves you right! And they ruin it because she punches the glass, and the shards come flying at your face. Cutscene. That's that movie in a nutshell. Tiny little moments of brilliance that they ruin seconds later. But so pretty.
Yeah, it's, this movie is pretty much just... It was so pretty that the prettiness was to its detriment. Mm-hmm. It's just they're so busy, just like, wow, this is really good 3D.
Masturbatory, I think, is what it was.
Yeah, it was very self-masturbatory. My final thoughts are, I don't care. And it was pretty. There was no musicals, and that always cheers me up. I'm very picky on my musicals. Like, you taking me to Les Mis.
You only fell asleep 3 times.
I did. No, that's a different tangent.
I think we're done.
I'm just saying, a musical does not have to have every single fucking thing. It doesn't need to be sung. You know, that's a different movie. It's a different genre. You know what? No.
That movie,
I'm going to do on Smurfs 2 review, I'm doing it as a musical. I'm going to get really angry, and I'm going to sing every stupid
Go
thing.
down, go down.
I did not like this movie. It was irritating. Anywho, final thoughts on this
The
movie.
end.
Yeah. I got nothing. I just did.
You mentioned that, because we actually had to go into Brad and
There you
Brian's
go.
movie real quick to grab the keys to the car, and you were saying that their movie actually pretty good.
Yeah,
So look forward to that review.
it's like 20 minutes in, and I looked at the screen and I was like, well, they're talking about dead bodies this movie already. This is leaps and bounds ahead of what I just
The
watched.
movie had dead bodies. Remember Chinatown? Just shards everywhere.
They deserved it because they lived in a pun.
Womp womp. We should stop. Okay, so Oz, really pretty. Maybe see it. Bye.
I wish I could go see it. It was dumb.
It was pretty dumb. Stop.
No, you might want to hit the stop.
No, we got sweet,
Yeah.
sweet Jake face.
The